Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is John Flaherty, and I'm here this afternoon speaking on behalf of Grossmont, Rhode Island. I want to begin by thanking you all for devoting your time, your talent, and your energy to guide this most important state agency. It's been shown again and again that Rhode Island as a whole has much to gain from strengthening and enhancing our public transit across our state, whether for economic development reasons, climate action, supporting increased housing production, or your more core mission of providing an affordable alternative for more people to get where they're going quickly, conveniently, and with a low carbon footprint. And I, for one, I think we all join together in saying that we'd all like to see this happen sometime in our lifetimes. But I also want to call your attention to a concern. And that concern is a recurring false narrative that for decades has served to undermine public confidence in this agency and cast doubt about investing further in transit. I'll remind you that according to the FTA, Rhode Island ranks among the lowest in per capita state investment in transit at just $18. Connecticut, I'm looking at some of the other urbanized states, Connecticut is at $67, Delaware is at $100, it goes up from there to Massachusetts is $238. RIPTA may be one of the most scrutinized state agencies in our state, and yet the results of many reviews and audits come to the same conclusion. Maybe I've been doing this for too long because I go back to as early as 2002, but the conclusion is that the agency is largely well-managed and outperforms its peers in almost every performance metric. Despite a chronic lack of funding, RIPTA provides more trips in a larger area and at a more cost-effective trip than other agencies, transit agencies serving similar populations anywhere in America. Now, to be clear, it's not my job to defend RIPTA, no disrespect, but the conclusions of these many studies are largely the same. And this has been something that has been going on really for many, many years. So I'll just do a quick review of some of those studies. I'm not going to go into depth, but I've got it. If you want, I'm happy to share the information with you.
Mr. Flaherty, you're coming up on your 3 minutes, so if you do have documents that you can provide us for us to review,
okay,
your findings.
I will wrap it up. Thank you very much. So 2002, RIPTA did a study. The conclusion was that the current level of state funding is inelastic and insufficient to sustain existing statewide transit systems. Following that, the special legislative study commission to study transit service in the state of Rhode Island was in 2004. Abrams and Cherwoni, a national transit consulting firm, did a high-level performance audit against its peers. Governor Kucheri then issued a commission in 2008, followed by the Senate Oversight Committee that took place just this year. Again, the conclusion here is largely the same. RIPTA is not broken, it's chronically underfunded, and it's why we aren't living up to our potential when it comes to transit. Final thing I'll say is that there's been, over the course of the last several months, many statements that have been made in the media that are, I consider to be combative and undermine, once again, public confidence in an agency that has largely been determined to be well run. And that hurts our ability to convince the legislature to fund this agency. And I just would implore all of you to please work in collaboration with one another, with the staff, with stakeholders, with elected officials, with the governor's office. We have a very tall order to accomplish in the state if we're going to realize any of these visions, and it's not going to happen in a silo or in a vacuum. And so I just would make that case, and I'd be happy to elaborate on any of this at a later time. I've obviously run my time out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on. Mr. Flaherty, we have one board member that has a question.
You mentioned that having the lowest on the volumes for public transportation, but do you take into consideration that other states have more types of rail public transportation? I would like to see an increase in rail public transportation. reasonable easement also.
Yeah.
But these other states have more types of rail, and people have more money on this.
You're correct. The other states that I mentioned, maybe with the exception of Delaware, but Massachusetts, certainly New Jersey has very extensive rail, no doubt. But they've built on a foundation starting with a good bus service. And we have aspirations to partner with the MBTA. I mean, we're already doing that. I think to RIDOT's credit, it led a two-state application to the FTA for funding for a $3 million. So
We'll take. Significant.
You